con kiến vàng buộc dế ngang lưng, bắt con kiến vàng buộc dế ngang lưng. Bên thời lấy giấy mà bưng, bên thời bôi mỡ kiên sang, từng tinh tang tang từng tinh tang, họ không xe họ không liều.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Today, we invite you to discover one of Vietnam's most unique forms of traditional programming art, water puppetry. Yeah, this is not only a joyful performance on the water, but also a cultural treasure that has existed for more than 1,000 years. Born from the rice fields, ponds, and village lakes of the Red River Delta, water puppetry reflects both the rural spirit and the creativity of Vietnamese farmer. Let's take a journey back through history to explore the origin and development of this special art form. Water puppetry originated more than 1,000 years ago, during the Lý Dynasty in the 11th century. This was a time when the nation prospered for cultural forests and farmers of northern Vietnam created this remarkable art form. After each harvest season, the flooded rice fields, ponds, and village lakes became natural stage. The water surface served as both a certain to conceal the puppeteers and simmering backdrop for the stories being told. Behind a simple bamboo screen, the puppeteers skillfully control the wooden puppets with long bamboo poles and string hidden under the water. Watching the lively movements, it's hard to imagine that everything is powered purely by the hidden hands of the artists. In the beginning, most stories reflect the daily life of farmers, plowing the fields, herding buffaloes, fishing, duck hunting, or playing folk games during village festivals. Over time, the repertoire also includes famous legends and myths such as Thanh Gióng, the battle between Sơn Tinh and Thủy Tinh, along with the witty character Chú Tẻo, who never failed to make the audience laugh. And throughout the centuries, water puppetry evolved from a simple village entertainment into a highly regarded form of traditional art. Famous water puppet guys such as Đào Thục, Nguyên Xá, and Thanh Hải have preserved and passed down the craft through generations. Today, water puppetry has moved beyond the village ponds to become a cultural heritage admired by audiences around the world. Performances that can now be enjoyed at the Thăng Long Water Puppet Theatre in Hanoi, as well as in many international festivals, helping to showcase the rich tradition of Vietnam to global friends.
First of all, we talk about spade. Water spade is the performance state. Water puppetry had a unique value and is different from all other types of Vietnamese theater, such as the dry puppeteers, Chèo, Tuồng or Cải Lương. In that is use the water spade as a place for the puppet to perform and act out plays. The only form of water spade theater in form of puppetry act of humanity, different from hand puppet, stick puppet, mechanical puppet, shadow puppet, or dry puppet theater. Next is the state of the water puppet. When we talk about the state, water pavilion is typical image. Water pavilion, also known as the truk room, is the next characteristic of this type. Water pavilion is the present of a material containing familiar feature that had elevated water pavilion. to brilliant type imbued with the Vietnamese cultural element. The image of the water pavilion with the shape of a communal house with two stories, 8 roof, light and graceful architecture with the curved 8 has given us a specific image of water puppet theater. If the playroom of a dry puppet, shadow puppet, Japanese puppet are all built on the ground, then it's water puppet cheese. The playroom must be built on the water. Can be pond, lake or water tank. The water pavilion is where the artisan operate with two type fixed water pavilion made of the brick and type, and mobile water pavilion made of bamboo fence and water pipe frame. The combination of the village pond and water pavilion has to create a very unique and characteristic performance space for the water puppetry. The space in both natural and artificial, bearing the imprint of Vietnam culture, which is the sort of the spiriting artistic beauty. Next, we talk about the tune was used in the water puppet. The percussion instruments used in water puppets are big drum, small drum, rice drum, wooden fist, cymbal, and the bamboo gong. The audience coming to water puppetry not only watch the funny puppet moving skillfully on the water surface, but also enjoy the bustling and vibrant the performance atmosphere from the music of the percussion instrument. Through the music, the artist can fully express the beauty of the puppet about the water puppet control machine. A puppet is made up of two main parts, the body and the base. The body is the part that float about the water surface to represent the character, while the base is the part of sink below the water surface to keep the puppet body above the water surface, and is the way the control the machine is the install for the puppet to move. Control the technique in water puppets are highly valued, creating the action of the water puppet on stage, which is the keys of art of puppet. Water puppet control machine are divided into two basic types, pole machine and string machine. The water puppet artist stand in the playroom and manipulate the puppet with the pole and the puppet with string system. Depending on its puppet play, the artist chose the appropriate type of the puppet machine. And the last part play the important role in the water puppetry's performance, that is the music. The musical element play an important role, creating the appeal of water puppetry. Thanks for your music. Thanks to music, the puppetry under the control of the artist behind the stage become more lively and flexible, helping the audience feel more authentically about the art of the water puppetry. In the past, when the music melody have not yet appeared, a percussion instrument was the primitive instrument of the water puppetry. Water puppetry need strong sound to maintain the rhythm and stir up the atmosphere of the performance in outdoor space. In noisy and bustling village festival, the bustling drum sound, along with the reflective water surface, make the sound even more distant and bustling, creating attraction, fascination, and strong impact on both the performer and the audience. The power tune to create the attraction of the water puppetry. Music is the powerful tool to express the truth and feeling of the inanimate puppet that words cannot fully convey. Thanks to music, the puppet under the control of the artist behind the stage become more lively and flexible, contributing to increase the attractive need of the performance. Music also have the task of the connecting to performance together, helping the audience not to feel the fragmentation between the performance, conveying the content better, or creating interaction and closeness between the puppet and the audience. This is what makes the audience comfortable and enjoy watching the show from the beginning to the end.
First, let's talk about the puppets, which are the soul of this art form. The puppets are normally carved from fig wood. a type of wood that is light, easy to form, and does not crack when dipped in water for a long time. Each puppet is about 30 to 100 centimeters tall and weighs between 1 and 5 kilograms, depending on the type. Inside, the body is hollow to fit the controlling mechanism. Their surface is coated with layers of natural lacquer and painted with bright colors. This not only protects the puppets from water damage, but also makes them eye-catching during the performances. The designs are diverse, from the humorous character of Uncle Ted, or hard-working farmers, rifles or fairies, to animals such as buffaloes, fish, dragons, and phoenix. Especially, their faces are carved with cheerful and humorous expressions, reflecting the optimism and playfulness of Vietnamese people. Next, we're gonna move on to the performing techniques, which make water puppetry truly one of a kind. The stage is a pool of water, often a pond, or a specially built water pavilion. The water not only creates the sparkling effects, but also hides the entire controlling system underneath. The puppeteers stand behind the stage screen, wade deep in water, and skillfully manipulate the puppets using long bamboo poles or a system of strings and pulleys. With their expertise, the puppets can walk, dance, row a boat, herd ducks, catch fish, ride buffaloes, and even breathe fire and spray water as if they were alive. To make the scenes even more exciting, effects such as smoke, fire, and small fireballs are sometimes added. Accompanying with the performance is the traditional Vietnamese music, played with drums, flutes, or even the two-stringed fiddle. Singers and narrators add lively commentary and humorous dialogue. One character that cannot be missed is Uncle Ted, a witty narrator who explains the stories and brings laughter to the audience with his jokes. So in conclusion, Vietnamese water puppetry is not just a folk entertainment, but also represents intangible cultural heritage. With their rustic yet refined design, and with their extraordinary performing techniques on water, these puppets make the art form truly unique in the world. I hope that through this introduction, you can gain a deeper appreciation for the creativity, the humor, and optimism of Vietnamese people, as well as for this special traditional art.
So, you just heard about some information that my teammates supply for you about some features and also the way how the water puppet show perform in a performance in the show. So now I would like to share you some information about the values, also the meanings that I think you're also very excited to hear about this one, because it's very one of the most common and outstanding art form in our country. So the first value I want to mention here, that is about the cultural identity and also the national heritage. You know, water puppet show, that is one of the a kind of the unique Vietnam folk art, and it reflects the spiritual and everyday life of the rural communities, and it symbolizes the close bond between people, water, and agriculture. And the next one, not only about the cultural identity, it's also a reflection of the human values, because every performance, it will portray the daily life like farming, fishing, festival, and the folklore. So that's why every Vietnamese people, because our origin, we are the farmers, so when we see about that performance, it creates the feeling very familiar, the feeling of familiar, and also feel very nostalgic about the past. And through the characters and scenes inside the show, the humanist values such as the love for the nature and the homeland, the community spirit and solidarity, and the family affection, and also about the optimism is also shown there that you can feel. And the next value, that is about the artist and technical significance. Because we use the water as the stage, so it will impress about the creativity inventions, blending nature with the performance. And the puppies here are handmade from the wood with a skilled craftsmanship, and it will require very high technique and coordination. And the next one is about the historical and traditional continuity. Because the water puppet show has existed for nearly 1,000 years with a historical evidence from the 12th century. And right now, with the villages like Thạch in the Nam Định province, in the old province before, it still maintained the traditional through the generational transmission of the techniques and the guild culture. And the next one, it is about the value of the community bond and the festival spirit. Because the performance usually happens in the village festival, and it will reinforce the collective identity and spiritual life. The Thủy Đình, the water stage, is not just about the theater, but it's also the symbol of the communal gathering and celebration. Of course, when we talk about the water puppet show value, we also need to mention about the tourism and economic potential. Because it is a cultural tourism highlight, attracting not only the domestic but also the international visitor coming here. So the craft villages create both the performance puppets and souvenirs, contributing to the local income and job creation. So I hope that with our interaction today about the water puppet show, you at least get some information and have the knowledge background about our very special art performance in our country. I can say that is a must-see performance when you come here. Let's take time to use it and enjoy.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, from a folk pastime of the Red River Delta farmers, water puppetry has grown into a proud symbol of Vietnamese culture. The rustic wooden puppets and the traditional stories they tell not only portray the daily life, dreams, and humor of Vietnamese people in the past, but also represent the enduring vitality of our traditions through centuries. When you watch a water puppet show, you are not only enjoying a performance, but also connecting with the deep of history and the soul of Vietnam. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope this moment of art will leave you with unforgettable impression in Vietnam.